Welcome to all you beautiful people. It's so good to have you part of the live stream today, part of the show today. Welcome to what we're calling the Players Club. So welcome. I'm so glad to have you. I'm your humble, gracious, and grateful host, Tomisin Atobatele, coming to you live from Toronto, Ontario. And we are going to have an absolutely amazing, great show today. Okay? Welcome, SH. I wish I knew your name, but you just have a little emoji. Hi, how are you? Brianna's here. Aisha's here. Okay, we got Luis here. We got Claudia here as well. Over in the YouTube chat, we got Missy America and Enlighten A+ students here right on time. I got to start naming some A+ students for YouTube as well, because definitely we've been having some for TikTok, and I got to start making some moderators too. For sure, I got to. Because Missy America been here, like, she's a little bit newer, but she's been here consistently and every day. And Enlighten A has been here since like the beginning, so she's got to earn an A+ student. So I gotta definitely be giving those out on YouTube as well. Lenalik is here as well. We got Lovely the Lioness, Kiara, Kyra or Kiara. I don't know which one. Oh, it's Brenda. Okay, I'll try and remember by the emoji. Okay, so good to have all you beautiful people here. You know how we like to do. I kind of called out everyone's name, but we're gonna do roll call real fast, so I know that you're here. You're paying attention to me and everyone else in the live stream chat. Brianna's so fast. We're going to do roll call, so I know you're participating with me and everyone else in the live stream chat. Brianna already beat everyone to it because she always does. So Brianna's here. Like I said, we had SH here. We had Brenda, it was, Aisha, and Lena Leak, Enlighten A, Missy America. Nifasimi is here as well, Claudia as well. Okay, let us get started today. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you guys are doing swell. Even if you're not doing so good, I hope this conversation can make it a little better for you today. I hope you guys enjoy the pink I got on today. The pink matches my background, so everything is all the same. Just a whole lot of pink. I might change it to, I don't know how I feel about all the pink, but it's a lot of pink. Okay. Marissa's also here in the YouTube chat. Okay. She has a late pass. She says, okay, we'll go with that. Now, we are going to be discussing something very serious today. Very serious. This isn't a joke. This is real life. Okay. We're going to be discussing 5 dating mistakes stopping you, or sorry, I say it again. Let me rewind. 5 dating mistakes stopping men from chasing you. I told you we're going to get deep today. Okay. So these are some very deep points. I want you to be paying attention. I want you to be taking notes. I want you to be here and present with me, because a lot of these things are going to be very important for what we're even here for. Because I'm a man, right? I'm a man. And I'm here to serve you the perspective of a man, because I know for most of you, you've been confused how men think, how they operate, and why they do the things that they do. And I don't want you to be confused anymore. Confusion is the worst thing in life. Okay. So I want to share with you these dating mistakes that most of you are making, which is why you find yourself in the position that you do. Okay. So let's get started, right? Men want to and are designed to chase women, court them, and impress them. All of the above and all the etc. stuff, okay? However, they can only do that under very specific circumstances, okay? If you find yourself constantly not receiving that kind of energy from men, you have to look inward, look in the mirror, however you want to say it, to better understand what you can adjust so that the men you are dating can properly be motivated to chase after you uncontrollably. Okay? These are 5 dating mistakes stopping men from chasing you. Let us begin. Okay? Number 1, we have energy. Now, I know a lot of you guys have heard me talk about energy time and time again. Like, this is another one of the staples that I must drill into your brain. We're going to talk about everything in a slightly different, from a slightly different perspective. Okay. So I want you guys to really be paying attention. We're going to bring up some different points here. The reality is the confident girls get chased and the shy girls get mistreated. That's just the truth. That's just the honest truth. Okay. That's me as a guy. I just have to be real with you. Okay. Not because shy girls are less important is the reason they get mistreated, right? Confidence in oneself communicates outwardly to other people that you see the value in yourself. Okay. And the men find it difficult to see the value in a woman who doesn't seem to see the value in herself. Is that making sense for you guys? Okay. SH asked a great question. What about introverted women? Right? There's nothing wrong with being an introvert. I'm not saying that you have to be an extrovert. You got to be standing on the table. You got to be twerking. Have you guys ever heard of the term quiet confidence? Let me know in the chat if you've ever heard of the term quiet confidence. Okay. SH says no. Lindsay says yes. Brenda says yes. Life Sucks says of course. Brianna says yes. Marissa says yes. Puleng says nope. Okay. Like mysterious girl, Brenda says. Well, so glad you asked, Brenda. Quiet confidence is the whole idea of being able to sense someone's, I'm talking about from a third person perspective, right? So outwardly, you're able to sense someone's confidence without them outwardly doing anything obnoxious or in your face that would lead people to say, oh, that person's super confident, right? It's a quiet confidence because it's something you really have to be paying attention to see and feel, but it definitely is there and you definitely can see and feel that. You don't have to be the loudest person in the room to seem like someone who is very confident. You can be very concise with your words. You can have a lot of clarity when you speak. Maybe you don't say and on, stutter, and, spend a whole bunch of time thinking about what you're going to say and be nervous about what you're going to say. And you can be a quote unquote regular person or a quote unquote introvert and still have quiet confidence. Okay, because I'm sure you've come across people that aren't the loudest in the room, that aren't screaming and yelling and dancing on the table, but you can still feel their confidence despite the fact they're not doing anything to outwardly tell a whole bunch of people, I'm the most confident person. So I say that to say, whether or not you're an introvert or an extrovert, you can still exude confident energy. Because like I said, when you exude that confident energy, it communicates to other people that, hey, you're someone who sees the value in yourself. That's why you carry around that confidence. The men absorb that, whether this be on a conscious or subconscious level, and they say to themselves, oh, I got to chase after the girl who is confident because her confidence has to stem from her value. This is how I'm letting you know how the men probably don't even realize this is how they're thinking, but I'm breaking it down for you because I always think about stuff way deeper than it needs to be. Okay. But I'm telling you, this is what's going on in their mind that's the reason why they're always chasing after the supermodel or chasing after the OnlyFans girl or chasing after the IG model, right? Because to them, those women are exuding confidence in themselves, right? Maybe it might be a little bit misguided in some ways, but they're exuding confidence in themselves, which makes those men feel, right? Like, oh my God, she's so confident in herself. She must see the value in herself. Oh, I see the value in you too, right? it's kind of like a feedback loop where they have confidence in the fact that you have confidence in yourself. So they know that that confidence must come from the fact that you have actual value. So then they also believe that you have actual value. Life Sucks says no because they're beautiful. Are you telling me that every Instagram model you've ever seen you thought was drop dead gorgeous? Are you telling me that every supermodel that has ever existed you thought was absolutely stunning? Are you telling me that there's never been a time where you've seen a celebrity or supermodel or anything model that you've been like, damn, everyone is in love with her and thinks she's so amazing and beautiful? I don't really see it. She kind of looks average to me. You know, if I saw her on the street, I wouldn't really think twice about it. Are you telling me there's never been someone famous or popular that everyone's like, oh my God, this person's so hot, this person's so amazing, this person's so beautiful, and you're kind of like, I don't really see it. It doesn't hit the same for me. Not that they're ugly, but they just might not be the most drop dead gorgeous person that I've ever seen. Right? And Life Sucks says, yeah, there are some, but that's the minority, to be honest. And that's what I want you to understand is that, right? It's really not all about the physical. It's really mostly about the emotional and the energetical. Energetical is not even a word. Energy and the spiritual, because the confidence that you exude, right, will also create a feedback loop where people think that you're confident because you have value. And then what happens after that is a term that I call groupthink, not I call, that's called groupthink, where the more a majority of people believe in something, the more everyone else begins to believe that as well. And so it starts with your confidence in yourself. You outwardly project that. Other people feel that and they're like, oh my gosh, you must be confident because you must be so hot and sexy and amazing. So what does their mind do? Their mind convinces them you're super hot, sexy, and amazing. One person feels that, then another person says that, then another person says that. Suddenly there's a group of people saying, hey, that person's hot, sexy, and amazing. Look how they carry themselves. Look how they act. It must because they're so valuable. That's the reason they would act like that. And so because everyone else is thinking like that, someone walks into the room and says, hey, what's everyone talking about? We're talking about how hot, sexy, and amazing that girl is because look how she walks, look how she talks, look how confident she is in herself. And then it just becomes a vicious cycle where everyone's like, look how hot and sexy and amazing that person is. I see some of you guys mentioning people in live stream chat. I seen someone say Michael B. Jordan and then someone else said Pete Davidson. You guys are funny. But that's how that happens, right? It's a combination of groupthink, but also when people come across someone who exudes that confidence in themselves, people assume that that confidence can only come from a real place, meaning that it can only come from a place of you actually having value and something to offer and being special, which is why you walk around feeling like you're special. You walk around acting like someone who's special. And like I said, it becomes a feedback loop. Okay? I've given this example to you guys before, but I know there's lots of new people, especially new people on YouTube. So I want all you guys to get a chance to absorb this and to see what I'm talking about with this example, right? And I want everyone to respond because I don't want it to just be me talking out of my butthole. Let's say you see two guys at a party. Okay, one guy is 7 foot tall and he looks like a supermodel, right? He's got a chiseled face, chiseled jawline. He's got a hard body, fit, in shape, all that good stuff. He's 7 foot tall. Okay, extremely handsome man. But he's in the corner, shriveled up, and he's got his drink in his hand like this, and he's looking down. And his eyes are shifting and he can't look anybody in the eye. He can't even look up. He's like so scared, right? And anytime someone comes up to talk to him or tries to say hello to him, like he's literally shivering. He can't even get the words out to say hello. Anytime he tries to talk, he starts stuttering and he just looks like the smallest little mouse that you've ever seen, right? And he's 7 foot tall, but he looks like he's absolutely scared poopless. I can't say SIT, sorry, right? He's scared poopless, right? Looks like he's about to poop his pants at this party, sitting in the corner. That's guy number one. Guy number two is 5'8", but he's in the center of the party. He's got everyone surrounding him, and he's telling a story to everyone, and the whole party is tuned in on this story. He's got them laughing. He's got them crying. He's got them hysterical. People are hugging him. People are like, oh my God, I missed you. I'm talking about girls and guys, right? The whole party, oh my God, I missed you. You're the most amazing. You're the best, right? He's not being obnoxious. He's just being himself. But he's talking and people are paying attention, and the whole party is gravitating towards him, right? He's just a funny, outgoing guy who has a lot of fun, and everyone has fun around him. That's guy number 2, except he's 5'9" and he has a dad bod. Okay, so he's not super in shape. He's got a little gut hanging out, right? But he's a fun-loving guy. Okay, good. It seems like everyone it's easy for them to get along with him. Now, let me ask you, you have guy number 1, that's 7 foot tall, and then you have the 5'9" dad bod guy. Which guy do you think would be a better boyfriend to you? Right? A more manly man, let's say. Right? Which one do you think is stimulating your Squirtle more? And let's be honest here. Okay, because I know before when I asked this question, people were like, "Oh well, I." Let's be for real. Which one is stimulating your Squirtle more? Okay, guy number 2 would never give me a chance. SH says. Okay. Someone says guy number 2. Ella says the 7 foot guy that don't talk to no one. He won't cheat. Well, okay. I'm glad that you said that, because that's not based on what you're feeling in your Squirtle and what you're feeling in your mind. That's based on your experience with men, which is suppressing your ability to gravitate towards one over the other. I'm just talking about strictly, not through experience, just strictly what your Squirtle would feel. Which one are you going to gravitate towards to, right? I would assume guy number 1 can't protect me. Interesting, you would say that. He's 7 foot tall, right? Observant says, hello from France. How you doing? Right? Cherie says the short king. Okay. Obviously, guy number 2 is being irresistible. Okay. I'm glad to see. Let's get. I want everyone to answer what he looked like in the face. Guy number 2, he's got a dad bod and he's average. Everything about him is average. Lifestyle says short kings have no chance. Yeah, fair, right? And so the reason I ask you guys that, and the reason I want everyone to give me their answers, Dawn says I love average. Okay, right? If you have a personal question, you should probably go to the Discord and ask it, because we have lots of great conversation in the Discord. So if you want my help or other people's help, go to the Discord. Okay, this is the show. Short kings try harder. Ella says, I don't know. I really might like the quiet guy, the outgoing guy, confident guy, maybe a narcissist into himself. Okay. So I'm glad that Ella said that and brought that up, because that's an important point. Some of us might pick the 7 foot guy, not because we're more attracted to him, but simply because of our experiences in life. Not to say that nobody would find the 7 foot guy attractive. Of course, he's 7 foot and he's a supermodel. But what I'm saying is, right, some of us would justify picking the 7 foot guy, not necessarily because our Squirtle feels more attracted to the 7 foot guy, but because of our experience in our past relationships, in knowing that, hey, the guy with confidence probably going to be getting more girls, there's going to be more competition, so that's just too much work for me. I don't want to have to do all that with a guy, because he's probably used to being chased after all these girls. So I'd rather go for the 7 foot shy guy, because I know I won't have to compete and he probably won't cheat on me. But that's not based on your attraction to each individual man. That's more based on your experience and your desire to not feel pain. Okay, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I bring up that point because obviously, okay, majority of us would be more attracted to person number 2, even though they've got a dad bod, even though they're 5'8", or did I say 5'9"? Doesn't matter, still short. Okay, short compared to me at least. Right, just average looking everything. Because common sense would tell you, oh, the more attractive person should be the 7-foot supermodel by far. And if that was the case, then it wouldn't even be a competition between the 7-foot supermodel and the 5'9" short guy. You understand what I'm saying? If it was really just about people's looks, then the 7-foot shy guy who's super awkward and doesn't talk to anyone should win all the time, every day, should shoot 100%. There should be no one that considers the 5'9" average short king. But if that's the case, that people are willing to overlook the fact that someone is 5'9" short with a dad bod, simply because they're a confident, outgoing, fun person, that should tell you that energy, right? And personality is just energy received by you from other people, same thing, trumps actually someone's physical traits a lot of times. And most of the time, and it's the same thing for men, a lot of times, the energy they receive from a woman is even more important than what they actually look like. And so my point being, you can inspire a man to chase you simply by changing and adjusting your energy. It's not all about having the biggest dump truck. It's not all about having the smallest waist. It's not all about having the most amazing, beautiful supermodel angular jawline. Okay, which is good. It's good for all of us because your energy can be adjusted and you can get these men to chase you. But the problem is, right, you don't come across as someone who believes they are hot and sexy and worth being chased after. Okay? So why would those men feel that way about you if you don't feel that way about yourself? If you don't feel confident within yourself, you need to begin doing things for yourself that make you feel confident and give you that confidence. Okay? Puleng said, true, even the most beautiful, intelligent women get cheated on. Right? It's not really just about looks. There is a cat and mouse game that goes on in relationships and relationships dynamics that keeps people interested, that keeps them chasing after their partner, that keeps them desiring their partner. Because even the most supermodel in the face and body women who aren't doing the job of consistently creating that desire in their relationship will stop getting chased after by their partner. Doesn't matter how amazing you are and how hot and sexy you are. Okay? I'm just here to tell you the truth. Those women get cheated on too. But I say that to say, right, that energy switch and adjustment is one of the biggest things that you can do for yourself to help you see a different result. Because the energy that you do have, which is one of someone who lacks confidence or doesn't even believe that they're worthy of men falling all over themselves, being obsessed with them, chasing after them, trying to get their number, trying to be with them, men just fighting over each other, trying to be your boyfriend. You not believing that, truly not believing that and not believing you're worthy of that projects outwardly. Other people receive that. You might think, oh, people aren't receiving. They don't think about that. They're receiving that. Trust me. They're receiving that. And so they don't treat you that way. They treat you according to what you believe you deserve, because that's what you project outwardly. You project outwardly to people what you believe you deserve. And so they treat you that way. Right? So when you believe that all you're going to get is, a wimpy, low value man who will cheat on you and disrespect you and never treat you right, and that's all you're going to see for the rest of your life, trust me, that's how you'll project to everyone. And that's exactly how those men will treat you. And they'll be happy to treat you that way. Because they'll know, right? They'll know that the only way you could have such little confidence in yourself is if you truly had no value. Remember, the same way I just said, the only way you could have confidence in yourself, people interpret that as it must be because you have value. So when you don't have any confidence in yourself, people assume that's because you have no value. So when they mistreat you or disrespect you or, just do whatever they want with you, they're like, well, that's what she deserves because she doesn't even see the value in herself, which is why she allows me to treat her however I want to. Right? Ella says, but how do you project $300 dates if you feel uncomfortable with someone spoiling you? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. And that's my point in what you need to be working on for yourself if you feel like you're not there yet. Because obviously it's easier said than done. To just say, oh, snap your fingers and believe that you're worthy of love, believe that you're worthy of men chasing after you and treating you like a princess, right? This is why I say you have to go out and start doing things for yourself to increase your confidence in yourself. So that might be going to the gym. That might be taking care of your skin. That might be, getting some new clothes, dressing in a way that's a little bit different that makes you feel better about yourself. All of those things that you begin to do for yourself increase your own confidence in yourself, that you can then take that confidence and truly actually believe that you're deserving of a guy chasing after you and being obsessed with you and all these men wanting you and wanting to be wanting to make you their girlfriend or their wife. And then when you actually believe that, that's what you actually end up seeing. And Ella just said, how do I project outwardly that, $300 dates when I don't like being spoiled? That is the problem, right? Because you don't believe that you are worthy of the $300 date, which is why you have a problem being spoiled. You wouldn't have a problem. Do you think the Instagram models have a problem with a man buying them a $10,000 Chanel bag? No, because they think they're worthy of the $10,000 Chanel bag. Do you think your favorite celebrity has any problem dating a guy who's going to buy them a car? No, because they believe they're worth being, such an amazing, valuable woman that a man would definitely want to date them and buy them a car. That's one of the reasons why Shira, and you guys brought up Sprinkle, Angelica brought up Sprinkle. That's one of the reasons why Shira, for those of you guys who don't know, you should search up Shira 7 on YouTube. That's one of the reasons why Shira, Sprinkle lady, the people who listen to her have been so successful in their relationships in extracting money and gifts from men. Because her whole thing is all about changing your mindset to believing that you are worth those gifts, right? And that attention and all of that, those things that a man will give to you when he wants you and he's trying to court you, right? Because as you begin to actually believe that, that's what you begin to see. And the only women who are uncomfortable receiving gifts, presents, acknowledgement, guys doing the most for them, the only women who are uncomfortable with that are the women who don't believe they are deserving of that. Because rest assured, the women who believe they are deserving of that have no problem receiving that. Okay? If it's a Chanel bag, that's what I deserve. Some diamond earrings, that's what I deserve. There is no expense that's too much for me to spend on me, or let's not even talk about necessarily just monetary or to do for me. That's too much because I believe I am deserving of that. Right? Renelle says, I'm only uncomfortable when I know I don't really like the man. That's a whole different story. That's just having a conscience. Some girls are able to not have a conscience and, even though they know they don't like the guy, they'll take advantage of him. That's fine. We all get taken advantage of and we all take advantage of people. I'm not even saying that that's a bad thing. But that's a totally different thing than truly feeling uncomfortable when a guy that you're dating or seeing is doing things for you or takes you on a $300 date. You understand what I'm saying? Life Sucks says, I don't like monetizing my value. Don't get it twisted, guys. when I'm talking about a guy doing stuff for you, I know the easiest way for you guys to digest it is to understand a guy paying for an expensive dinner or to take you out somewhere nice or to buy you gifts. But that's not all of what I'm talking about. I'm also talking about a man doing things for you, being consistent with you, trying to schedule, dates with you, take you out to nice places, do nice things for you, be as presentable as he possibly can for you. Take care of you in all ways, not just financially, but emotionally as well. And actually try to be the man for you. I'm talking about all of those things, not just the money. But you have to actually believe that you're worthy of those things before you can begin receiving those things. Because trust me, there are women out there who receive all of those things from their men. And then they also have other men stumbling over themselves to give that to her as well, right? She's not of the belief that, oh, I'll be uncomfortable if a man wants to do the most for me. I'll be uncomfortable if a man wants to absolutely bend over backwards just so that he can prove to me that he's the man. I'll be uncomfortable with that. Why would you be uncomfortable with that? Do you believe that you're not deserving of that? And if you do believe you're undeserving of that, then you need to figure out why you believe you're undeserving of a man to seek you out and want to do the most for you to get you. Because that should be the case. And like I said earlier, that's how men were designed. They were designed to chase after you. They were designed to desire you. They were desired to want you and want to be with you and all of that good stuff. Okay, so when you find yourself in a position or in a place where you're uncomfortable, that's what you need to be working on. Okay, so that's number one is energy. Number two, we have your environment. Okay. Now, I might go on a rant here because this is something I'm really passionate about and this is something that really grinds my gears, okay? Because this is something that you guys are struggling with a lot. Okay? So just get ready. Men will judge you. Let's be real. Men will judge you based on the environment they meet you in. This is going to be painful. Okay, let's get through it. You must be very careful that the environment you spend a lot of time in does not misrepresent you or lower your value in his eyes. If he sees you as average or less valuable, he will not chase after you. Are you following what I'm saying? This is super, super important. Okay? And this is where I might go on a rant because I know that some of you guys love the dating apps and there's no diss towards dating apps. We've talked about dating apps in the past and we're going to have a whole show dedicated to dating apps either this week or next week, probably tomorrow. Okay? And I know that dating apps is a very easy way to get access to a lot of men where, you can sift through who you want, who you like, and you can get a bunch of easy dates, quick, fast, and painless. Here's the problem though. When these guys are meeting you on dating apps, they are lumping you in with all the other thousands of women that are on the dating app. All he has to go by is your 4 or 5 pictures and maybe if on Hinge, a little voice note if you put one there. And in probably 10 to 15 seconds, he's making a decision on whether or not you are even a worthy woman to pursue or try to see if you would be a good partner to him in 10 to 15 seconds in a sea of thousands of other women. So what do you think that does to his view of you? Okay, I'm going to give you guys an example just so we can be on the same page. If you are consistently on dating apps and a man only has to swipe right on you, send you a few good messages, and then gain access to you and eventually go on a date with you, he will not feel like he had to work very hard for you. That's just the honest truth, okay? In turn, he will come to the subconscious conclusion that you must not be that valuable if he didn't have to work that hard to get you. He will stop chasing you if he ever even started in the first place. Okay? Right? And this is where I want us to dig deep in this so that we're all of the same understanding. I know dating apps weren't created to be a bad thing, right? The same way I know the club wasn't created to be a bad thing. I'm not saying that if you do it, you're the worst person ever. But what I'm saying is, let's be real. When you put yourself in that position, in that environment, you're lumping yourself alongside all the other women who are also participating or part of that environment. So if you don't like how that environment represents you because of how all the other women, right, are acting or behaving in that environment, or what people think of women in that environment, you must change your environment. Okay? Okay? Someone said you're judging women based on men's behavior. No, that's an everybody thing. The same way, if you met a man in a specific environment that would make you weary of the type of person he might be, where does that come from? That comes from your experiences in life. Okay? You're probably going to feel, and this is, we'll flip the script. You're probably going to feel very differently if you met a guy at a grocery store who came up to you, gave you some nice conversation, right, for a couple of minutes, and actually seemed pretty cool and genuine, and then asked you if you wanted to go for coffee this week. You'd probably have a very much more unique view of that man in the grocery store, as opposed to meeting him on a dating app and him texting you the same thing, hey, you want to go out for coffee this week? One would be much more memorable than the other. You'd also have a very different viewpoint or understanding of that man based on how you met him, even if it's the same man. That's why I say the dating apps aren't bad, because you can still meet great people on dating apps. But what I want you to understand, especially for you as a woman, it comes to your detriment, because you're trying to get the man to chase you. You're trying to get the man to see the value in you. So when you put yourself in a situation where you're lumping yourself in with all these other thousands of women, you're literally subconsciously telling him, hey, I'm average, just like everyone else you see on the dating app. And so you should treat me the same way you would treat all the other women you see on the dating app. And this is all happening subconsciously, because you have to step outside of yourself and really see things for what they are. I know for you feel like I'm on the dating app and it's just me on the dating app and I'm here to find my love and that's all I care about. But what's also happening is that the people that are coming across you on the dating app from the opposite side, you might think you're super important. And I don't doubt that you're important. I don't doubt that you're amazing. I don't doubt that your personality is 10 out of 10. But in that, you're also being sifted through like a number amongst hundreds and thousands of other women. Your face pops up for 10 to 15 seconds, and in 10 to 15 seconds, he's making a decision on your value just like that, without ever meeting you or seeing you or, having a conversation with you. Right? C says we sift through them too. Exactly. I'm not saying that it doesn't happen the opposite way. But what I'm saying in that is, if you want a man to chase you, what do you think that does to his subconscious view of you and what he thinks your value is? Because at the end of the day, you guys are both on the dating app, but you're trying to get the guy to chase you. You're not trying to chase him. And this is why I say the dating app comes to your detriment as a woman, because you're trying to inspire him to chase after you, but you're putting yourself in a position that makes you look less chaseable, less desirable, because what makes you different from all the other thousands of girls that I'm sifting through on the app? Right? C says, I don't care if they sift through us and what he thinks my value is, I'm sifting through them. That's fine. If you don't, guys, these conversations that we have is not me trying to convince you to do something different with your life. I know for some of you, you want to see different results. So I can give you advice on how to change your results. If you think what you do works for you, then you continue doing what's been working for you. Don't bother listening to me. Don't bother taking my advice. Just continue going about your life, because clearly if it works for you, it works for you. So see, if what you've been doing has been working for you, keep doing what you've been doing. Don't even bother listening to me. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm an idiot. Okay, I'm an idiot. So if the sifting through the dating apps of all the men has been working for you and you've been having great relationships because of that, continue doing what you're doing. I am in no place to fight against what you've been doing or how you should live your life. I am super happy for you, whatever way you choose to live your life. Okay, but for the rest of you who actually want to see a change in your life, or maybe the things you've been doing haven't been working for you, maybe if you tried something different, you might get a different result, which is why I'm here, trying to inspire you or give you some ideas on how to get different results from these men. And so that you can stop having finding yourself in the same situations in your dating life over and over and over again. Okay. Lifestyle says everyone is on dating apps. No one meets in real life at this point. Well, that's the thing. Do you want to meet someone who is just like everyone else? Or do you want to meet someone who stands out to you, feels unique, and you can actually build a real relationship with? You convince yourself, and this is also what I mean by your mind can easily play tricks on you, because it's so easy to convince yourself that, hey, everyone's on dating apps. That's what everyone's doing. Nobody's meeting in real life. Really? Is that what you think? Really? You think that no one on this planet Earth is meeting people in real life, and there is no relationships, no long-term marriages, right, being built off of things outside of dating apps? You really have convinced yourself that every single baby and relationship on this earth has been created from a dating app. You see how your mind can easily play tricks on you and convince you, hey, I should continue doing what I've been doing, even though it's not working, because, oh, that's what everyone does and it doesn't happen any other way. You're telling me that the billions of human beings that have been born since before the 5 or 6 years that we've had dating apps, right? You're telling me all those people went extinct, and so did the technique of being able to build a relationship with someone without using a dating app. You're telling me we lost that ability in the 5 or 6 years that dating apps have been created. Okay? I say that to say you have to help yourself. Okay? The reality is people are meeting in real life. I know it's shocking, right? Shocking that people would meet in real life. Okay? People are meeting in real life, but the problem is that's harder than going on a dating app and swiping through people. Okay? It's harder. It's also more anxiety inducing. And for a lot of us, we would rather be comfortable than uncomfortable, even when it comes to our love life and our relationships. We'd rather be comfortable sifting through people where we don't actually have to meet people, develop the skills to be charismatic or build relationships or have good conversation, because that's more comfortable than having to go out, talk to people. Maybe you don't get along with some people. Maybe you might get rejected by some people. Maybe some people don't like you as much as you like them. And it's a lot more of an uncomfortable experience. And so you convince yourself why all the reasons you are way more comfortable doing the activity that makes you comfortable and why it's so much better. And that's how your mind begins playing tricks on you, where you convince yourself that, hey, I should do it like this, not because this is the right way to go, not really because it's the right way to go, but that's what makes you the most comfortable. So you build a bias around that theory. You understand what I'm saying? Of why you should continue doing it, even though it's not been working for you. Right? Life Sucks says, no, I'm very charismatic and would love to, but there's simply no way. You're telling me are you telling me that there's nothing to do where you can meet people aside from go to the club and be on dating apps? There are no other places where you can meet human beings. Is that what you're saying? Right? If you truly believe that, do you think that there's no other place to meet human beings other than the club or on a dating app? In the YouTube chat, Kathleen says, change your belief system. Nunu says, Nunu like from ATL, the movie Nunu? Is that where you got that username from? Says, I like your content. You're a little condescending when you speak. No one here is a child. You can talk normal. I only speak like that, not to be condescending, but to help you guys absorb the information properly. Because sometimes when people just talk monotone all the way through, you don't really get the emphasis on the specific points or parts that they want you to pay attention to. So when I speak like that, it's not to be condescending. I just want to emphasize the parts and pause on parts where I really want you to be paying attention. The same way you would do for a child if you wanted them to understand what you're saying, not because you are a child, but because I'm trying to help you absorb the information as much as possible. Keep in mind, I know maybe you might be a 2x speed person where I could just speak a million miles an hour and you could understand me perfectly and clearly and get the whole point, but not everyone learns at the same pace. So I like to keep a good pace where everyone can absorb what I'm saying properly and doesn't miss the entire point. You get what I'm saying, right? LaPeacha said she must never get approached. Are you talking about Life Sucks or someone else that was in the chat? Kathleen says, change your belief system and get your guy. I 100% agree. And yours, Naki, says, I enjoy the emphasis. I definitely need it. Okay, yeah, I know everyone's different. It's fine. I'd like to keep it so everyone can understand it. Life Sucks says in the TikTok chat, she says, Tomisin, men don't approach in real life anymore where I live. Trust me. Have you guys ever heard the term, oh, I'm an old soul? I'm an old soul. Trust me. There are men. This is the thing. And this is the funniest part about life. This is the thing. There are men who meet women in real life and talk to them in real life. The problem is, if you don't spend any time in real life, how are you supposed to meet the men who will talk to you in real life? It's kind of like an oxymoron, because your belief that men don't approach women is actually not because men don't approach women. It's because you only spend all of your time in places where men don't approach women. Do you see how that works? But if you were in the places where the men are approaching women, then you would see that the men are approaching women. It kind of like, you know, and your belief system becomes that is not necessarily true simply because you're in an environment that is leading you to believe a particular thing. Of course, if I'm on dating apps, I'm going to feel like everyone's on dating apps. But if I went to a paint class, I'd feel like there's so many great men at a paint class. If I went to I don't know, an art or museum, I'd feel like there's so many amazing guys at museums, right? Your perspective is always going to be skewed by your environment, because your world is only going to feel as big as wherever you are or wherever you're spending your time. So keep that in mind when you're creating your belief system about what men do or don't do, because there are good men out there, although most of them are in relationships or not in the places where the bad men are. You see how that works? It's easy to convince yourself that, oh my God, it's only cheaters and bad men that exist when you spend all your time in the same environment as the bad men. Because the reality of it is, why would the good men spend time in the same places as the bad men? Wherever the good men are, you're clearly not spending your time. So instead of focusing your energy on, oh my God, there's so many bad men, you got to focus your energy on, okay, how can I spend my time in the places where the good men are, instead of spending all my time in the places where the bad men are? You see how that works? Okay. The Primal says, is it bad to date a 7-year-old younger guy? No, I mean, if that's your thing and if you guys are both consenting adults, there's nothing wrong with that. Jocelyn says, admire how you deal with criticism. I mean, everyone's going to criticize. By the way, we have like a record amount of people on YouTube, so I'm so glad with that. I hope all of you beautiful people are participating, right? Because this is a participation class. This isn't just sit, watch, don't really pay attention, okay? Right? Lapichi said, yeah, he's handling it. I would yell probably. I don't see, the thing about me, guys, is I don't mind. I actually encourage you guys to have different viewpoints and different perspectives. This group, this conglomerate, that's a like a SAT word. This group of people is not about me just stalking and then you guys have no opinions and everyone just says, yes, oh yeah, that's true. And they don't even know what they believe, right? The whole point of this is that we learn from each other, and there's nothing wrong with you having a difference in opinion. But what I will say is, if we're all here together and we're talking about relationships, for majority of us, we're talking about why they haven't worked out. So for some of you that are stuck in your way of thinking, or you want to do something a specific, particular way, and you don't want to change it, or your belief is that, no, this is the truth, this is the truth, this is the truth. Well, my only thing to that is, if what you've been doing has been working for you, why would you be in a place that is actively trying to teach you and show you different techniques? If it's been working, then it's been working. There's no need to change it up. But if it hasn't been working, maybe you need to acknowledge that maybe there might be a different way to go about it. That's all I say to that. Okay. So now, the last point as it relates to environment, you don't want to allow men to frequently meet you, whether it be on dating apps or in clubs or just in general in places where they can easily come to the conclusion that you are just like all the other girls that they've met or that they've come across, and come to the conclusion that there's nothing special about you to chase after, right? You don't want him to come to that conclusion. So what does that mean you have to do? You've got to find other places to spend your time, whether that means other places other than dating apps or other places other than the club. I gave you guys this example all the time. And I hope you guys are actually, like, I hope you guys know I don't just talk out of my butt. And if I do, tell me that I'm talking out of my butt. Okay? Hold me accountable, because I try to give you guys real actionable items and advice that like really can work for you. And most of the other people who like study psychology or they're dating gurus, they'll just sit there and say, oh, just kind of like, make people desire you. Just magically click your heels and you'll be desired. No. I try to give you real stuff that you can actually do. So what I mean by that is, when I talk about changing your environment, go on TikTok. There's a bunch of you guys on TikTok. I know those of you on YouTube probably have TikToks as well. Go on TikTok and literally search up things to do in, and then whatever your city's name is, or whatever the closest major city is to you if you live in a really, really small town. Okay? Right? Go on TikTok and types in things to do in LA, things to do in New York, things to do in London, things to do in Moscow, things to do in Manchester, things to do in London. I said London already. Miami. Okay? Wherever you live, type in things to do in your city. And there are literally content creators that make videos, only 30-minute videos, where they show you all these different small, cool spots that you can go to spend your time and have fun that isn't just the club or a bar. Okay? Scroll through those, figure out one that you like, and grab a friend. It doesn't have to be like I only go by myself. Grab a friend that you would like to go with and go out and experience that. Don't go there with the intention of, when I go there the first time, I better meet the man of my dreams. Just go there because you enjoy that place and you want to have fun and enjoy yourself and your life in that place. And you'll be shocked when you start approaching things with that energy. You'll be shocked the moments and the people that you'll meet. Have you noticed that before dating apps, everyone has this random story of how one day they just woke up and they usually never take this way to the subway, but this one day they decide to take a different route to the subway, and on their way to the different route to the subway, they stopped at a coffee shop, and on their way stopping at the coffee shop, in front of them was their, eventual partner, and then their eventual partner dropped something on the floor, and then, he helped pick it up, and then when you picked it up, you guys had a conversation, and that conversation led led to a dinner date, and then that dinner date ended up you guys being married for 50 years. Have you ever noticed that before dating apps, everyone's story seemed to be this random occurrence that happened out of what seemed like coincidence? And so my point being is the same random occurrences, because they're not really that random if they're always happening to everyone. The same random occurrences happen when you take action and you actually step out of your house and you go and do things, right? And meet people and have conversations. You end up experiencing something that you never could have sat down and wrote down. Well, today I'm going to take a different way to the subway, and I'm going to stop at a coffee shop, and at the coffee shop, the person in front of me is going to drop their keys, and then we're going to meet and we're going to have a conversation. You would never be able to write that story, but the story is out there. But it requires you to actually go out and do things, right? Sitting at home and sifting through your dating app is not the story. Like, that's not the epiphany or the realization that you're going to have that you finally meet the love of your life. Not, like I said, not to demonize dating apps, but like I've been saying, there's billions of people have been born on this earth. Millions of relationships have been had without dating apps. So it's very much possible for you to meet people without them, or without the club even. Trust me. I know it's shocking. I know it's super shocking, right? But it's true. And environment will play a large role in what a man thinks about you. And if he sees you as a quote unquote low value, right? Or he sees you as just like all the other girls, why would he be inspired to chase you? Because remember, at the very beginning of our show, I talked to you guys about you have to create the right environment for the guy to chase you. And if you are not creating that right environment, sure, be my guest. You don't have to. If you don't want to do the work, fine. But then don't be shocked when a lot of the guys that you meet or start dating either stop chasing you or they never chase you at all. You understand what I'm saying, right? If you want to inspire a particular reaction from the men, then you probably want to be focused on what actions you can take. Okay? Now, so number one was energy. Number two was environment. Number three, I hope you guys are following along. Number three is accessibility. Okay? If you make yourself too easily accessible to men, they will not feel like they need to chase after you. In their mind, your accessibility represents your value to the world. I'm just telling you the truth of how the men think about it. Okay? I'm just being honest with you, right? The only way you would be free or available at all times in their mind is if you had nothing to do with your life or no one else trying to get your time. You following me so far? Right? That's why it's so important to manage your accessibility to the men that you're dating. Right? I know that you like these guys. We all like people. I've liked people too. And so when you like someone, you want to be available to them 24/7. If they call you at 3 a.m., you want to be available. 2 a.m., you want to be available. 4 p.m., you want to be available. You want to be available to them and drop everything that you have going on for them all the time. Here's the problem though, especially at the beginning of these relationships, when you're setting the groundwork for the rest of the relationship, you're trying to inspire him to chase after you. And so the reality of it is, it's not a good environment when he feels like there's no competition for your time. And I'm not just talking about competition with other men, although that's good, but I'm also talking about competition for your time in your own life, meaning like work, your passions, the things that your hobbies, your other friendships, your girlfriend, like your family, all of that stuff, right, is taking up your time and energy, right? And even though you like him, even though you guys are building a relationship, he wants to feel, I'm telling you, the man wants to feel like there is a concentrated amount of effort and work that is required from him in order to gain access to you. He has to feel like that in order for him to be inspired to chase after you. Okay? There has to be a motivation behind his reasoning for chasing you. If you're always available to him, you're taking away that motivation. that he can feel to continue chasing and continue chasing. Right? Mona says, but my problem is when I play hard to get, I get too hard and hard to get. I think I know what you mean, right? And that's why I said you got to manage it, right? It's a balancing act. We don't live our lives on extremes here where we do all of one thing or all of the other. Okay. So you're not going to be always accessible to him, but you're also not going to be never accessible to him, right? You don't want to send the wrong messages if you're uninterested, right? You want to manage that accessibility so it comes in the right dosage that he can continue to be inspired to continue to chase after you over and over and over and over again. Okay? I have an example here, right? A man who's gone on 2 dates with you starts calling you at 1 a.m. and asking you to come over. Once you establish that he can call you anytime and you'll be there at a moment's notice, he begins to only call you late at night or to see you last minute. Because he quickly realizes, hey, I don't have to plan with her. I don't have to plan a date. I don't even have to take her somewhere nice. I don't got to spend money on the date. I know I want to extract Squirtle from her. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm going to do it with the least amount of effort required from me. And I know she's not going to push back on that because she will drop everything for me. And she's not going to, there's no one else competing for her time, not even family, not even friends, not even her hobbies or her passions or her work. I can call her over whenever I want, have her with me for as long as I want, utilize her for as long as I feel like utilizing her, and then discard of her when I no longer want or need access to her. And then what also happens is when while he's discarded of you, he doesn't even think of you. You don't even come across his mind, because why would he think of you? He has no reason to. The next time he does think of you, it'll be because he wants you right now in this second. And so what will he do? He'll call you right now in this second. And what will you do? You'll come over right now in this second. Okay? And then it creates a vicious cycle where he's like, oh, you're always accessible all the time. So that's great for me, but I also don't need to do anything to get you. So that's great for me. So I'll do nothing and I'll put in no effort. I won't be consistent because why would I? It doesn't require me to extract what I want from you, which is Squirtle and whatever else access I want to you. I can get everything I want without doing any work, right? And so you're setting this groundwork and you're creating this environment, not the environment I was talking about before, but you're creating this environment where he doesn't have to chase after you. He doesn't have to plan for you. He doesn't have to come up with amazing ideas of cool dates. He doesn't have to schedule his life or his work or his week schedule around what you're doing, right? He doesn't have to wait for you to be free. He doesn't have to be patient. All of those things make him feel like he's not working for his access to you or working for you in general. And if he doesn't feel like he's working for you in general, right, he's not going to see that value in you. And like I said, the value is not just, oh, your looks, having a dump truck. He's not going to see that value in you. And when he doesn't see that value in you, he's not going to chase after you. Okay? So if you want to combat that, because I like giving you guys actionable items, right? You need to find things you enjoy doing, or in the worst case scenario, just fake being busy. I'm so serious. I'm not joking. I'm so serious. In the worst case scenario, if you literally have nothing to do in your life, nowhere to spend your time, hopefully you would. But if you truly have nowhere else to spend your time, just fake being busy. Okay? So that he must plan ahead and really wow you in order to get you to look his way and to keep your attention. That is what you want. And like I said before, this is how guys want you to treat them. I know it sounds weird. I know. Trust me. Listen to me. Look in my eyes. I know that it sounds weird because you're thinking to yourself, what, men don't want that. They want it to be super easy and peaceful and me to not do anything or complain, and I'll just see him whenever and he'll have access to me whenever. That's what will make him the happiest. Not really, to be honest. You know how they always say, women don't know what they want, they can't make decisions. The men don't know what they actually want either. And what I mean by that is they might say they want something, but they don't know how they actually respond when they get it. Because in reality, the best response you receive from them is by a lot of times by doing the things they say they don't want, as weird as it sounds. So when they say, oh my God, I don't want a woman who's too busy. Oh my God, I don't want a woman who thinks she's the it girl. Oh my God, I don't want a woman who thinks she's hot stuff. But in reality, they chase after the women who think they're hot stuff. They chase after the women who are too busy for them. They chase after the women who don't give them the time of day. And the women who are foolish enough to actually believe the words coming out of the guy's mouth that, oh, I just want you to shut up, sit down, not say anything, not talk. And, that'll be the best version of a life to me where, you don't give opinions, you're accessible to me all the time, you're available all the time, all that good stuff, right? The women who are foolish enough to do that get cheated on or get used. They do not get chased after because all of that stuff doesn't inspire him to chase after you. Right? Tatiana says they chase after their business and goals, not cat. Well, here's the thing. I actually like that you said that, because if you're with a man who chases after his business goals and life goals, don't you think it would be smart to resemble that in the relationship, that he will give the same response and reaction to you? What the point you actually just made is a perfect example of why this stuff will elicit the reaction that you want, because you're trying to get him to chase after you. So if you see him chasing after his business goals, then you should probably be focusing on trying to resemble as much as possible his business goals in a way that elicits, which just means brings out, the same response. And so you're happy. He's happy because he's chasing after you. He's getting rewarded for his chase. And, he's motivated to continue chasing. Everyone is happy. He feels like the man because he's getting you little by little. He's getting more and more access to you. He feels like he's winning. Everyone is happy. This is why I say this is the state that men naturally want. I don't care what they say to you. This is the state that men naturally want to be in. Being motivated to chase, working for your attention and your love and your care. Getting some of that, being rewarded for it, feeling good about his hard work, and continuing to chase after it. Why do you think men are addicted to the video games? I know this is a little side note, but let's be for real. Why do you think these men are so addicted to video games? You start at level 0. You do some things, you get better at the game, you increase your skill set, you get better weapons, you get better tools, and you get to level 2. Oh, you get a little bit better. You work on your skill set again. You do a little bit more practice. Now you're level 10. Now your first prestige. I don't know how Call of Duty works. I don't play Call of Duty. Your second prestige, whatever. Okay? You're ranked. You're one of the top in the world. You're competing. You're one of the best, right? A reward system. And this is why I say this isn't just dating and this isn't just men, but this is human psychology, right? The reward system of hey, you're going to start at level 0. You'll work hard. You might get to level 1. When you get to level 1, there will be a different set of goals you had to reach and rewards you got to get. You get to the next level, there'll be a different set of goals. And you just continue laying the crumbs little by little. And I eat this one up. Oh, here's the next one. Oh, here's the next one. And then they continue feeling good of their progress. That's why men are so addicted to video games, right? Because it's a perfect example of the real life motivation that they feel to chase after things, be rewarded for their work, and then continue chasing. It's just a never-ending cycle. Do the guys ever get tired of playing the game? No. They play the same game over and over again, right? And I'm sure some of you that have a gamer boyfriends know this. You'll probably be thinking to yourself, that man spends how many hours on that game? Every time he logs onto the game, it looks like the same game. The game ain't changing. What's so interesting about the game? Right? It's not really about the game. It's about the idea of leveling up over and over and over again, gaining better techniques, better skill sets, and getting better over time and being rewarded for that work. So you can figure out how to turn your relationship into a video game, and you will get a very different response. All of a sudden, you won't have to compete with the video games. You'll be the video game, and he'll be addicted to you, and everyone's happy. Okay? I know it sounds crazy. Right? But it's the truth, right? So number 1 was energy. Number 2 was environment. Number 3 is accessibility. Number 4, we have standards. Now, this is where you guys are going to have to take accountability, and it's going to sting a little bit, but you will grow because of the understanding, okay? Your past relationships, stay with me. Your past relationships and the guys you allow inside you, I told you this is going to sting, represent your standards of men. If he sees that you are dealing with bums, he will assume you have no standards, and so it is not a good reflection of him if he is one of your bum boyfriends. He wants the fact that you picked him to mean he is one of the best. Okay? This is why I say this is going to sting a little bit. I had to realize this myself, even as a man, right? The people you put yourself inside as a man, and vice versa, that you let inside you as a woman, are a representation of you. I know it sucks, but it's true, which is why you need to be choosing wisely, because these are part of the things that men realize, and it stops them from wanting to continue to chase after you, right? You want to know why? Because if you only deal with bums, like I said earlier, why would I feel good about being with you? The feeling is going to be, I'm going to be just like all the other bums that you spend your time with. And so now I look in the mirror and I feel like a bum because all your past partners have been bums, right? When your standards are low and he realizes how low your standards are or have been, right? He stops being motivated to chase after you because he stops seeing the reward that he will receive, not just for getting you, but also for feeling like the man when he gets you. And I'm telling you, all this stuff is happening subconsciously. You understand what I'm saying? So I'll give you guys an example. Let's say you're dating a guy and he finds out that all your previous exes were jobless, broke, unintelligent, useless men. He then realizes you have horrible taste in men, and he sees himself as much better than those men, which means he sees himself as so much better than you. So he begins to disrespect you. You see how that works? Because your standards are a representation of how you feel about yourself. If my standards are low, that must be because I only believe I deserve very low quality, which is why I would accept low quality people into my life. If my standards are really, you can have exes and they're still really high quality exes. If my standards are really high, that's because I believe I am only worthy of high quality men, right? It's the same way, and even as a woman, you've probably experienced this. If you meet a girl and she tells you that her last ex was a multi-millionaire, you're probably going to think to yourself, damn, there must be something special about you. Your last ex was a multi-millionaire. He bought you all this stuff. He did all this stuff for you. Just that fast, it changes your viewpoint on them, because you're like, oh my God, if your standard was multi-millionaire, who's your next man going to be? You can't go down from there. You must be in this upper echelons of women where all the multimillionaires want to be with you. And that's the only way they'll get access to you, right? Kalira says that would not be an ex. You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked, right? But my point being is your standards represent you. And for some of you, for a lot of you, right, your standards are actually stopping these men from chasing you because they realize, hey, you actually accept bums into your life. You actually will, you don't have no standards for yourself. And so why do I need to hold myself to a standard? Why do I need to chase after you? Why am I putting in a whole bunch of work to get you? There's no competition here. The competition is a bunch of people who are jobless, gamer boys, soy boys who sit on the couch and do nothing with their lives. Why me, a multimillionaire? Why am I trying to be the one to get you? There's nothing to get. Anyone can get you, right? And I'm just saying that's how they begin thinking on a subconscious level. So I'm sure you're like, okay, well, how do I change that? I've been getting access to the bums. Oh my God, what do I do now? Oh my God, I let all the bums hit, and now what? Now I'm gonna be all the men aren't gonna want to chase after me. Okay, I'm gonna give you some actionable items. Make sure the men you choose are a good representation of what you consider a high value man. I hate the word high value man because it's a buzzword. Nobody knows what it means anymore. Whatever you consider a high value man is, make sure that your partners are in line with that. Okay? Simple. Don't settle for bums because you are lonely. Oh, I don't want to get mad now. Okay, I don't want to get mad. I'm going to say it again. Don't settle for bums because you are lonely. So I always talk to you guys about filling your holes, like not this hole, your heart hole and your mind hole, right? Your emotional holes and your voids, because those voids will put you in a place where you're desperate for the validation and the attention, or you're just lonely. And so because you're lonely, right? And you need someone to be with you, you will allow more low quality men into your life and into your squirtle. Okay? And you don't want that, right? And if you have already made sure, right? And if you have already, like, maybe you've accidentally allowed bums into your life and you're like, oh my God, what do I do now? I let the bums in, but now he's going to judge me because he's going to think my standards are low and then he's not going to chase after me. If you've already allowed the bums into your life, you must listen to me very carefully, because I know some of you guys are in this position. You must clarify the bums would never even be able to look in your direction anymore. And that because you have leveled up, you've changed the way you view yourself, value yourself, you changed the way you go about life. These bums would never even be able to dream of having access to you. Make that so crystal clear, he can see his reflection in it. Okay? So that he's of the understanding that while you might have made that mistake of allowing bums to be in your life in the past, that mistake, look how wide my eyes are, that mistake will never happen again. So that he can feel good about, oh, okay, she was with some bums, but the bums ain't having no access. She's a different type of girl. She's on another level now. Those bums couldn't even, like, I don't care if you diss them. If you got diss them, talk about how raggedy they are. Talk about how you would never even allow them. They're the scum of the earth. You wouldn't even allow them to clean your shoes. Okay? Like you really have to put emphasis on it so that he is of the understanding that you don't do that. That's not the quality you accept into your life any longer. And you got to hammer that home. As many bums as you've allowed in your life, you better be hammering that home all the time. Them bums ain't got a chance with me no more. I'm a different type of person now. Them bums ain't gonna see me, gonna smell me. They can't even clean my shoes. Okay? And that's literally what you have to embody when you're walking around in life and when you're on these dates with these men. Okay? So that's number 4 is standards. So number 1, we had energy. Number 2 was environment. Number 3 was accessibility. Number 4 was standards. And number 5, we have predictability. Okay? Predictability. Someone said it's cracking up. Is it still? Sorry, I didn't see that message. Is it still cracking up on YouTube, guys? I want to make sure you guys are having a good experience on YouTube. Let me know. I don't want you guys to have a bad experience. So number 5 is predictability. Okay? Men don't like when you become overly predictable. Specifically, they do not want you to become so agreeable all the time that you never have a difference of opinion or thought. You following what I'm saying? Okay? Now, I know some of you guys are like, but I thought guys want peace, but I thought guys want a girl who, won't give them any problems. I thought guys want a girl who's submissive and quiet. And I know that's what you thought. But what I'm telling you is how to get a guy to chase you is not by being the most agreeable, nicest, kindest person in the world. Okay? Because being so agreeable all the time turns you into someone who is predictable. I can easily predict that you're just going to agree with whatever I say. You're not really going to have an opinion or a thought or a perspective of your own. You're not going to be an individual. So I know that whatever I say goes. You ain't going to have any back talk about it. You ain't going to even give a different perspective as me. You're not even like a real human. You're just like a shadow, an empty shell of a human, and I can project onto you whatever I want to project onto you, and you won't bat an eyelash. Okay? But you don't want him to feel like that, because the moment he feels like that, the first thing he's going to do is begin disrespecting you, because he doesn't see you as a complete individual. He just sees you as an empty shell. You become so predictable because you're so busy trying to be agreeable, because you want him so badly to like you. Remember? Right? You're seeking that validation. You want him so badly to like you that you're scared if you say anything or do anything that he doesn't like, or do something that you want that he might not agree with. Oh my God, he won't like you anymore. He'll break up with you and he'll go find another girl. And you're in so much fear of that happening. You're trying your best to be agreeable and everything and not have any real opinions or not have any real perspective. But all that does to you is serve you as do a disservice to you, because then he no longer sees you as an individual. Right? I'll give you guys an example. After 3 weeks of dating a new guy, you want so badly for him to like you that you try to be as easy to get along with as possible. So you suppress most of your thoughts and opinions, hoping that he will like you, that because you are so easygoing. Eventually, he begins to disrespect you, because he sees how little you're willing to speak up for yourself. Okay? And this is the truth this is just how life works. I hate to give you guys a perspective that sounds bad and feels bad and is not nice, but it's the truth. When men, specifically everyone, but men specifically in this case, stop seeing you as a complete individual because you don't have any opinions, thoughts, or perspectives, you become extremely predictable and you're just like an empty shell, they begin to disrespect you and take advantage of you, because they realize that you're not going to speak up for yourself. They realize you're not going to stand up for yourself. You're not going to have any perspective or opinion, right? So then they take an inch and they see you agree and you don't say anything. So then they take a mile. Then they take a couple miles. Now they're running laps around you, because they realize you're so predictable that they can ensure no matter what they do or say to you, you will accept it and agree with it, because you're in so much fear of him not liking you. And so all of that motivation to chase you has been thrown out the window, because why would he? You don't speak up for yourself. You don't have a perspective. You don't have an opinion. You're so predictable because you're trying so hard to be agreeable and not say anything so that you're liked. Why would he ever try to maneuver himself or put himself in a position that he can ensure you like him the most? Because if you think about nature, I know when I say nature, everyone goes, oh my God, you're talking about caveman and this and that. I just want you to understand the idea, right? If you think about in nature, because at the end of the day, we are part of nature, like we're animals, just evolved animals, right? In nature, think about the peacock and the whatever you call the male peacock and the woman peacock, whatever, the peacocks, right? The male peacock will spread his feathers in this beautiful pattern, do a little dance, right? And try and impress the female peacock, right? And he's waiting for the female peacock to tell him tell him, sorry, I get my things mixed up. Tell him her opinion on him based on his fancy feathers and his amazing dance. And so she has to come up with her own perspective and feelings about what he did, how he acted, how he danced, what his patterns like, and then accept him or deny him. But the process of understanding that she's an individual, I'm talking about the woman peacock, is an individual and has her own viewpoints and understanding and perspective. And I have to work to adjust myself to gain or to put myself in the best light that she will want to accept me into her life, right? Only stems from him first being able to see you as a complete individual. And so as it relates, I know it's a crazy example, but as it relates to your real relationships in real life as human beings, right? The men want to see you as a whole individual with your own unique perspective, thoughts, and feelings. They do not want you to become so predictable and agreeable that you become an empty shell, because then they can no longer see you as a whole individual, which means there's nothing to work for. There's nothing to work towards. And so his motivation for trying to chase after you is completely gone, because what is he chasing after? There is no motivation there, right? It's all about setting the stage, right? You want to be the Call of Duty game. You want to be Fortnite. You want to be whatever. I know some people get mad when I compare, oh, you're comparing us to inanimate objects. You're comparing us to video games. Okay. If that's what gets you upset, you're probably not hearing anything I'm saying. But I say that to say, right? You wonder why these guys are addicted to video games. Try and embody the video game in the sense that create a system in which there starts at a low level and he has to work his way up to get to the higher levels. Don't just give, if a video game, as soon as you pop the disc in, right? You think if your boyfriend, if your gamer boyfriends and gamer ex-boyfriends pop the disc in, and as soon as they popped the disc in, they were level 100, do you think they'd play that game for very long? Probably not. Because the whole point of being addicted to the game and coming back to it over and over and over again is to level up, get better, increase your skills, have more tools, have more resources, be a better player, compete with others. All of those aspects lead him to keep coming back to the game over and over and over and over again. And you can get chased by the men, just like the men are addicted to the video games. They can be addicted to you as long as you're aware of some of the things, because this is just some of the things that are actually stopping the men from chasing you. Okay? Now, do you guys have any questions about what we just discussed? Pretty Distraction says, oh, I love that name. What if I don't want to play and just leave? Then you can just leave. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want to meet men and you don't want to do all this work, if you think it's too much work to do all the stuff that I just mentioned, you guys don't have to do that. Remember, I'm not giving you instructions that, hey, if you don't do this in your life, you're a bad person. You can do anything that you want to do. But what I will tell you is that if you choose to say, this is too much work, I'm not going to focus on trying to treat this like a video game. And I'm not talking about Pretty Distraction. I'm just talking about in general. If you feel like it's too much work, oh, yeah, I don't want to do all this stuff to get a guy to chase me or to, even care. I don't even care if a guy chases me. Like, that shouldn't be important. He should just want me because he wants me. Cool. That's fine. But then don't be confused why the guys don't chase after you. Don't be confused why the guys chase after other women. Don't be confused why the guys lose interest in you. Okay? If you don't want to do any work to get the desired result, don't do any work. That's fine. But then don't be confused why you don't get the desired result. It's the same thing as don't be confused why you fail a test if you choose not to study. Okay? I always tell you guys, you can do anything you want with your life. I am not here to tell you how to live your life, but just don't be confused when you fail the test. Don't be confused when you can't keep a man or keep him focused on you. Okay? I'm giving you advice you can choose to use or not. Okay? sorry, I think was it Nifasimi that said something? She's yeah, it was Nifasimi says, would you say your emotions can get in the way of trying to be the game? Sometimes, actually a lot of the time, because sometimes you get so emotionally invested in the guy that now you want to give him level 100 before it's even time for that. So giving him access to your Squirtle, just want to jump right into it because you also want the pleasure, which there's nothing wrong with wanting pleasure, but you also have to understand that comes to your detriment, because when you give away that pleasure, yeah, you have pleasure and he has pleasure, but now you've just erased all of his desire and motivation to continue chasing for something. You understand? And it does you and the guy a disservice, because look, let's be so for real. Let's be so for real. You're doing yourself and the guy a disservice by giving him access to your Squirtle right away, because you're making it so much harder for him to be properly motivated in a way that's natural to him. Right? Because obviously, right, we are pre-made, pre-cooked to have certain characteristics about us that motivate us in certain ways. And let's be for real, right? Sex is a motivating factor for a lot of men. And so the reason I say that is because you can properly channel that energy into getting a particular response out of a man, knowing that that is a motivation of that man. So when you give him and you satisfy that desire so quickly, especially when that's something that's so inherently natural and intense inside him, don't be confused why all his motivation is gone for you and towards you now. Okay? What to do when you keep fighting? Keep fighting in what sense, right? La Peaches in the YouTube chat says, that's sad that she thinks that the only way that a relationship wouldn't work out. Are you talking about dating apps? Is that what you're referring to? Enlighten says, great video. Thank you. AJ says, at what point should you stop playing the game? Never. And what I mean by that is obviously like when you get married to a man or when you're dating for a year or 2 years, obviously he's going to get the Squirtle. So that's not necessarily the game I'm talking about. When I say never is you are never supposed to stop desiring your partner, which means you're never supposed to stop doing stuff to help your partner desire you. Have you ever met people or couples that tell you that, oh, you know, what's the reason you guys broke up? And they say, oh, we just lost the spark, right? These married couples that have been married for years, and then they'll say, oh, why'd your marriage end? Oh, we just lost the spark. The spark wasn't there anymore. We didn't have that spark anymore. That's what that stems from. When both people stop doing things, right, for each other to help their partner continue desiring them. They stop dating each other, right? That's what people mean when they say we stop dating each other. We didn't do things like we would when we were in a relationship to make each other continue to desire one another. And that's on both sides. It's the same reason why if you came to me, and I tell you guys this all the time, if you came to me and we're like, oh, we need a marriage counselor. I want you to fix my marriage. We don't have any more sex anymore. And we need to get this together because our marriage is falling apart because we're not intimate anymore. Imagine if you came to me as your marriage counselor paying me $300 an hour. And I told you that you guys should just go back home and choose to desire each other. That's the answer to your problems. Just go back home. Don't do anything different and choose to desire each other. You'd be like, oh my God, I just got robbed. I literally got robbed by my marriage counselor. We came to him for answers and he told us to go back home and choose to desire each other, because that's not how it works. If you came to me as a marriage counselor, you would expect me to give you actionable items, which should tell you that desire is not on the other person to just choose to desire you. It's on you as an individual to do things to allow your partner to continue to desire you. So the long-winded answer, because I answered things so long, to AJ's question, the game is ongoing because you never want the desire to stop. Okay? Someone says, can you answer please if the no contact method works? It works in some cases, not in all. That's a very specific thing. It's not just a general point I can just give. Some cases it works, some cases it doesn't. Right? Someone says this guy I'm talking to for 2 months and have met his family has now become a lot more distant. Okay. So what do you want? What's your question? Right. In the YouTube chat, Kick says, what does it mean if guys keep friend zoning you? It probably means that something about you is you're one of the guys like, and not very much I want to marry you like. Not saying that you're a bad person because of that, but you're probably giving off a lot of you're one of the guys energy. And truthfully, straight heterosexual men don't want to date one of the guys. Okay? They just make you a guy friend. AJ says, if a guy doesn't plan a date in 2 weeks, should I move on? That's very subjective. So, I mean, if you guys have already been casual friends since before that, there may be a little bit of a misunderstanding. If you guys literally met like on Hinge or something and he hasn't planned a date in 2 weeks, then probably he's not that interested in meeting you. So that's a little bit subjective on how you meet and where you met. Excuse me. Posse says, do they sometimes ghost you to test you and see if you have a rota? What is a rota? I don't know what that is. Michelle says, I want to read this. Michelle says, do you believe in the black cat golden retriever theory? From what I know, I might be mistaken because I don't know everything. From what I know, like, what is that? The theory, it's kind of like what we were talking about, like the theory that the golden retriever guy or girl will be with someone who's like a black cat, and those personalities will mesh into like actually working well. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I believe it. I don't believe that that's the only way you can have a relationship, but I believe in the concept of like, there's specific personalities that are more chaseable than others. And a lot of times the way you present yourself will attract a particular type of person. This is why I always talk to you guys about, you have to, instead of all of us just being like, oh my God, it's the guy's fault, all the men are trash, men are so trash. We can't change whether men are trash or not. Well, we can all acknowledge there's lots of trash men out there. You're not trying to attract the trash men. You're trying to attract the quality men. So rather than spending all our time crying over the trash men, let's focus on what you can change or adjust so that you can start attracting quality men. Okay? That's why I exist. All right? We don't want to spend all our time complaining and then never adjusting our behavior to see a different result. I know some of you guys, not you guys, but I know some people that pop into the chat and probably aren't frequent listeners. They just want to complain, but never take any action and make a change. Don't be one of those people. Okay? You got to make a change, and you can only control what you can control. You can't control what the guys do. You can't control how many trash men there are in this world, but you can control how you project outwardly and how people receive you, so you can control what people are attracted to you. If you find yourself constantly attracting the same type of person, it's not an accident. Okay? Does anyone know his YouTube? Very simple. My YouTube is right on top of my head. I should have pushed myself up. I don't know why that's like that. My YouTube's right on top of my head. You can go to my YouTube and find me right at that name. See where the YouTube icon is? Right beside it, right there. And if you want to see my Instagram, the Instagram icon, and right beside it, right there. Okay. Same thing for you guys on YouTube if you want my TikTok or my Instagram. Okay. Yours Naki says, would you come to my wedding if I found a husband armed with your advice? 100%. I'd do it. 100%. That'd be an awesome success story. Okay. Vinny says, can you recommend any playing tactics? What do you mean? Like things to get him to chase you more? I actually did a whole live stream, like a whole show on getting a guy to chase you more. So you should go watch that. Right? Nifasimi says this live is one of my favorites. I would hope so. I do not even see. The thing is, for me, it's not even research that I have to do. I literally have to sit down and go so deep in my thoughts about my life and my experiences and all the things that I've seen and all the friends that I have, and literally draw out of my emotions and my feelings and my thoughts, put it onto a page so that it makes sense and it can be digested by you guys. So it's not like I just, come on here and just talk out of my butt. Like I really have to go in deep and think about these things that are happening, which is why it teaches me a lot of stuff about myself as well. Right? Melissa says, I said I'm going to bed. He said, can I come with you? I'm tired of sleeping alone. I said flirting is fun and harmless, but I'm not into hooking up. What do you think? Yeah, I think that there's nothing wrong going about it like that. You don't have to be like a downer Debbie where anytime he makes a joke or says something fun and flirty that you shut it down. But you do want to, you don't want to try your hardest to be the fun girl that you end up getting misunderstood, right? So it's good to set boundaries and be like, look, I understand, you're into me, you desire me. There's nothing wrong with that, making a joke and stuff like that, but this ain't that. So I hope you understand this ain't that. Okay. Any other questions that you guys have for me? I think it was Silan says, why does he ignore even though he confessed his feelings? Did he really confess his feelings, or do you think he confessed his feelings? Because there's no guy that would confess his feelings and then ignore you unless he's scared of you. That would be weird though. You don't want a man like that. There are some guys. See, that's the thing. I talk to you guys and I make fun of you guys sometimes about being textaholics and Snapchataholics. There are lots of guys actually that are like that too. They're textaholics, Snapchataholics, but when it comes to actually meeting you in person, they're way too shy and way too scared to actually strike up a conversation with you. Stay far away from those men. I think tomorrow is going to be dating apps day because we're going to have a talk about dating apps and social. Stay far away from the textaholic men and the Snapchataholic men, because those men are not, you won't be able to get anywhere with those men. They can't hold no conversation. They're not charismatic. They're not interesting, which is why they're Snapchat and textaholics, because they're too scared to get out of their house and talk to a real woman. Yeah. I don't even want to get mad right now. Okay. Praying regularly because I believed it makes you more stable and a whole person. So if a guy drinks, goes clubbing, and has a red flag for me, oh my goodness, what the hell? Sorry about that. That was weird. So if I believe that that's good. I believe that that's good. That the praying, because it does help you keep more centered and keep your discipline going. And should that be a red flag for you? See, this is also, I want you to answer for yourself. Is that a red flag for you? Don't look to me to tell you what you should or shouldn't accept into a relationship. Think to yourself, what do I want out of a relationship and what kind of man do I want? So that you can go out into your dating life and love life with confidence, not feeling like, oh, I'm going to choose the man that Tomisin wants me to choose. Choose the man that you actually want and repel the men away from you that actually don't fit with the lifestyle or the husband that you're seeking. And like Nay said, you and this butt stuff. Did I say something about butt? Oh, did I say talking out of my butt? Yeah, I love butt stuff, guys. Is it glitchy still? Is it glitchy? Is it weird for you guys? On TikTok? Okay. What type of glitching is it doing? Anyways, I got through everything that I wanted to get through. I hope you guys got some good information out of that. If you want access to this live stream, right? Because I know some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, I missed something. Oh my gosh, I didn't get a chance to see it. Oh my gosh, I didn't get a chance to watch it all the way through. Can you repeat it 80 times? I want to know it 80 times. Go to my YouTube. You can rewatch the live stream in its entirety. Okay, as it happened like this, I know some of you guys are on TikTok. You can go to YouTube and you can rewatch it. If you're on YouTube already, you can rewatch it. It'll be in the live section and you can rewatch it in its entirety. Don't worry, I'll also post the condensed version on YouTube as well on my main page, right? Without all the extra stuff. But I know some of you guys like the context, like the chat, like to see how I really act. You know, you don't just want the condensed information. So you have both versions that will be available to you. Also, it'll have the TikTok chat embedded in it on the YouTube as well. So you can go back and rewatch it as many times as you want. Okay. If you just want to follow me on Instagram, you just want to see what I'm doing today, guys, for those of you guys who want to know my personal life, today I actually hit a PR. I posted it on my Instagram. I hit a PR in the gym. I did 4 plates on each side. So I believe that's 385. I squatted 4 plates on each side. So for us, you guys that live in the UK, I don't know how many grams or kilograms and stuff that is, but I did 4 plates on each side. So 385 pounds, whatever that is in, let me see here. 385 pounds in kilograms. 174 kilograms. So I did 174 kilograms on the squat for those of you guys who are on the other side of the world. Okay. I was like in my PR today. So that was like really awesome. I'm having like a super great day. Anyways, glad to have you guys here. We had like a record number on YouTube as well. We having a great show out on both. I will be back. For those of you who are new on YouTube or new on TikTok, I'm here every weekday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I am here at 4 p.m. So tomorrow I will be back again. We'll have another live show at 4 p.m. exactly Eastern Time. So make sure you tune in for that and you have my notifications turned on for that. Other than that, I will see you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. sharp. Have a good rest of your night, afternoon, or morning for some of you guys on the other side of the world. I love you so much, and I love doing this show so much. We have so many big things planned for the future. This is going to be the best show on earth, okay? I love you so much. I will see you later tomorrow, 4 p.m. sharp. Make sure you're there, okay? Bye.